All right, we're going to do some more programs on this, but let's start giving me one where you start going into the evidence, because stories are one thing, okay? And with no way to check them, you don't know what to say. But in the last how many years, medical doctors and a whole group of scientists have started actually defining what is death, okay? When can we say technically this person is dead, okay? What has to take place?
Death goes by different definitions depending on who you're talking about and what definition they're going to live by. Here's a beginning definition all the way up to the worst it can be. The beginning one is a state called near death, hence we get near death experiences. Near death is when you dial 911, call the paramedics, they come to your house, and as far as they can tell in a non-hospital, non-machine atmosphere, you have no pulse, as far as they can tell, no measurable or very, very low blood pressure. If something's not done quickly, near death is defined as a state from which you will almost assuredly die if something doesn't happen quickly. All right, that's the first floor. You're close. Next step, usually people talk about as cessation of heartbeat, and that would be a cardiac arrest. Now, there's different kinds of cardiac arrests, but with cardiac arrest with ventricular fibrillation, that frankly means your heart's not working. So if your heart's not working, you cannot function very long. Sometimes the estimate is less than 5 minutes before you start losing vital brain information. A flat heart with an EKG would be a good indication that you're getting very close. Next stage up, flat EEG, no measurable brain activity. Now, again, this is measurable machine, and somebody might say, well, there might be something else there, but we're not getting a reading. So no brain activity is probably the most evidential in that sort. By the way, and latest, this is just a few decades old information. If you have a cardiac arrest with ventricular fibrillation, in studies, the brain, according to the machines, upper brain activity ceases in about 15 to 20 seconds. So if you have the real serious kind of cardiac arrest, 15, 20 seconds, and neither is working. Now, if you have an NDE that lasts, because of what you described to people around you, you know, someone says, well, I looked at my watch and you were gone at 10:02, but you described something from 10 minutes later. You know, if you had a ventricular fibrillation, a heart arrest, you know that you have no measurable heart or upper brain activity. The last one is the skeptic's favorite, and it's called biological death. And I kind of like the way they define it. It's kind of like, it begs the question. But biological death is, if you had it, you wouldn't be talking about it. There's no return from it. So biological death means ain't no coming back on their definition. So near death, heart, brain, we put you to the ground last week. So that's the line. And I've argued before in print that you can find near-death data at each of these four. And you go, what about the one you can't come back from? I'd say stay tuned, because we have data beyond that level too.